What's up, gamers and collectors? DGC back with another video, and today we're going to do a little bit more of a casual video. I just kind of want to talk about the PlayStation Move on the PlayStation 3. Is now a good time to collect for it? Let's talk about it. So, I had a PS3. Whenever the Slim one launched, I bought it that day. I was very excited because it was finally $300 instead of the expensive price. I want to say it was like, it was probably 2010 when that came out, I think, maybe even 2009. I was still pretty young at the time, and I scrounged up $300 somehow and bought that. And then I had to sell it for some reason to pay for something for a girlfriend or whatever, for whatever reason. I was very young to where I just didn't have a lot of money, so I sold my PS3. And I remember re-getting it from my parents, and they bought me the PlayStation Move 320 gigabyte Slim bundle, which I still have, and very grateful that my parents re-bought that for me. And now the PlayStation 3 is arguably one of my biggest collections, and I really love the PlayStation 3. It's really the console that got me into PlayStation. I had a PSP day one, I had a Vita day one, I had a PS4 day one. I had a PS2 back in the day, not day one though. Never had a PS1 until I was an adult, and then PS3 really hit it home for me, and I loved the XMB menu and just the feel of the controller and just the UI of just everything about the PlayStation 3 operated far more smoothly than the Xbox 360. Microsoft is rich because they make operating systems for PC, which run great on PC. However, on the 360 and the Xbox One now, they cram Windows down into the Xbox, and it just runs like shit, and always really hasn't since they got rid of the blades. Shout out to anybody that remembers the blades on the 360. But yeah, the PS3, it's just a far better running system as far as just your everyday tasks between that and 360. So I've always liked the PlayStation 3 a little bit more in that regard. But to the PlayStation Move, when that came out and I got the bundle, I was obviously excited to get a PS3 again. And then with the Move, that was all the craze that holiday, and it was the second coming of motion controls. And it is far better than the Wii. Even the Wii Motion Plus, it's night and day between the two of them. They are the definitive motion controls in the sense that they just work way better. And then you had the other thing, I forget what they call it. I guess it was just the Move controller, whereas this was the one with the ball on it was the actual just PlayStation Move. Then the other one was the PlayStation Move controller, I guess a lot of people might not even know that that's a thing, but it is. And I have two of them, so I have two of the Moves and then two of the one with the analog sticks. Then there was also a gun that you could get, and you'd put the analog stick one here, and then you put the ball one here. And it was the PlayStation Move aim gun, I don't know. And then they have another one for the PlayStation VR, which just has all that shit built into it, which is nice. The gun one actually works on a decent amount of games. And let's go over some games here and see if the PlayStation Move is something you want to collect for. I kind of want to get a full set of PlayStation Move games. I'm weird like that. I like to collect full sets of obscure things. But PlayStation Move is no exception to that rule for Alex, because I just love collecting weird little semi-collections out of big collections. So I haven't played all these, but I do know a little bit about each one of them. This is the Shoot. So I believe this is available on the 360 for Kinect, and then it might even be available on the Wii. However, out of all those, I'm just going to go ahead and presume that the PS3 one runs the best because the Move runs the best. This is like a movie shoot thing, but it's like a shooter, like a light gun or light gun shooter kind of thing. Interesting game. I've played this one a little bit. Has a very childish, well not childish, but cartoonish looking visuals to it, so it's going to age well. That is something I can say about this game. It's not the greatest game, but you can get, like, the cool thing about PlayStation Move games, and maybe people don't know this, and that's why nobody collects for it yet, most of these games are $1.99 or $2.99. I love collecting obscure and cheap stuff, and I don't know, maybe nobody will watch this video, who knows, but I like the PlayStation Move, and I wanted to finally talk about it. Here's one that I actually have not tried yet. So this is Medieval Moves Deadman's Quest. So this is archery, sword fighting, and throwing stars. So I guess this is basically sort of a Wii Sports-esque type thing in the sense that it's just like 3 little games. So this is the medieval guy. Is that what that game's called? Yeah, Medieval for the PlayStation 1. So this is like a little skeleton guy. He's the same as the PlayStation 1 guy. This is just more of a tech demo, I would imagine. But I don't know. Whenever I play it, I'll definitely let you guys know. And the cool thing about the PlayStation Move that I really enjoyed is that it's so easy to set up. You just plug in the camera and then you're pretty much done. You turn on the controllers and you're good to go. One thing that always did irritate me though with having the PlayStation Slim, it only has 2 USB ports on it. So between all those controllers and normal controllers, I have 4 normal PS3 controllers, so it takes forever to charge all this shit up, and the batteries are getting ready to go bad because some of these batteries have been in my possession for 10 years at this point. So I played the absolute hell out of my PS3. I'm surprised the PS3 is still running after all these years, because I literally have about 300 PS3 games, and at least 100 of them I've actually like beat it. I think I have a 15 to 20 trophy rank on the PS network or whatever. A lot of that's from PS4 as well, and Vita for that matter. But either way, so a lot of the games for the PlayStation VR or PlayStation Move were kind of rehashed into normal games, and some of them work well, some of them don't. This is GoldenEye Reloaded 007. So essentially with this one you can use the, let's see, it's called the Sharpshooter is what the gun's called. And the Sharpshooter gun itself is better than the PlayStation VR one. The PlayStation VR one is more comfortable, but it doesn't have a stock on it. The Sharpshooter for the PlayStation Move one has a stock, and you hold it like this, and it's got a butt on it, and you can really aim it well. But the PlayStation VR one, it's got a little nub back here, and then you hold it like this, and it's got 2 analog sticks, and you aim it around, which is, it physically controls better, but it doesn't feel well, because I mean, if you're shooting a machine gun, I want a butt on my shoulder, and I want to be able to aim it and stuff. Now, people do 3D print them. I would love to find one, and if one of my viewers happens to have a 3D printer and wants to print me a stock for my VR gun, that would be badass, and I'd be more than willing to send you a game or something, or for your trouble, send you something. But yeah, so GoldenEye Reloaded. This is a rehashed version of GoldenEye with Daniel Craig in it, essentially. It's a decent enough game. I think I got this for Christmas one year from my parents, and like was really excited about it, and then I never actually played through all of it. But now I might actually do that now. Okay, here's another game that I believe I got very early on with my PlayStation. Well, the second time I had it. This is Little Big Planet karting. Now, I really love the Little Big Planet franchise. We haven't gotten one since the beginning of the PlayStation 4, so we're talking 6 years ago at this point in time, or 7. And Little Big Planet Karting was the only entry into the series of Little Big Planet Karting. This is another franchise that Sony really could keep around and release once a generation, kind of like Nintendo does with Mario Kart. They also had Mod Nation Racers, which is admittedly pretty good, but Little Big Planet is more of a household name than Mod Nation Racers. I mean, Sackboy's not known by it's known by PlayStation fans, but not known by like all gamers like Mario or something. But really good game. So with this, you can use the Move, but it's a proprietary controller, which I don't have, and they're pretty uncommon. So I kind of want to get one. And if you have one and don't want it, you can definitely send it my way. Just kidding. But it's a PlayStation Move racing wheel sold separately, and it's this weird thing that has 2 stakes that come down. There's like round pieces here, and then there's like this weird piece here and this. So you can drive it like a car, or you can actually turn them out and do motorcycle games with it, which is kind of unique that they did that. And I'd really like to get one. I don't know how much they're currently selling for. I never even have seen one, period. Even when they were new in the store, I never saw one. So here's a cool game. This is Sorcery for the PlayStation Move on the PlayStation 3. This is an RPG action-adventure type game. I actually haven't played this one. Apparently it's not terrible. You have to use each of the Move controllers for this to play that. Now here's one that I got very early on for the PlayStation Move. This is PlayStation Move Heroes. Now, as you can see on the cover, we got quite the team up there. You got Sly, Ratchet, Jack, I forget the turtle's name, Clank, and Daxter. That shows you which two franchises out of those three I like the most. Jack and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank are easily top 5 PlayStation franchises for me, along with Resistance, Killzone, and probably God of War. But yeah, PlayStation Move Heroes, not a terrible game actually. Really fun. If you're picking up PlayStation Move, and again, really all you need to get is the camera and one of each controllers, or two. You need 2 Move controllers probably, and then at least one of the navigation controls. That's what it's called, the PlayStation Move navigation controller. Definitely recommend getting all those things. You can pretty much get all that for like probably 30 to 50 bucks, which I know seems kind of like a lot, but trust me, you're getting a whole kind of new system in the sense. It's almost like a Sega CD or Sega 32X add-on for the PlayStation 3 in a weird sense like that. But this is a really fun game. It's a kind of a action platformer with like a multiverse kind of thing where they're all in the same universe and yada yada yada. Pretty good game. Now here's one that I have played a good bit. This is House of the Dead Overkill. Also available on the Wii. However, it's going to look better on the PlayStation 3 and play better on the PlayStation 3. It also has the sharpshooter support, so you can use the actual gun, and it's just a better version than the Wii one. I have the Wii one as well. This is a better version. This is probably about a $10 to $15 game, so pretty cheap. All the rest of these other ones are like 5 or less. PlayStation Move is very cheap to collect for. Great game here though. Now here's one I have not played. This is called The Fight. This is a boxing game. It has, what is this dude's name? The machete guy from the movies, that guy. I don't know what his name is, I always forget. But really funny guy. He's like a comedian, but he's also in like action movies and stuff. And he owns, I think he owns like ice cream stores or donut stores out in California. But he's a very generous guy, and but either way, you know who I'm talking about now. But The Fight, lights out. It's like a boxing game. It reminds me of Creed: Rise to Glory for the PlayStation VR. Very similar game. Super cheap. There are 2 of these games. This was the direct competitor to Wii Sports. This is Sports Champions on the PlayStation PlayStation Move. There's 2 of these. I don't have the second one yet. I've always been wanting. Yeah, I don't have it yet. I've been wanting to buy it. However, it's kind of eluded me. I don't think it's rare, but I don't see it often. And then whenever I do, it's missing the manual or the disc is all jacked up. But this is actually pretty fun. This had a lot of cool games in it that couldn't really be done with the Wii. So this has disc golf, which is fun, beach volleyball, archery, table tennis, gladiator duel, and I don't know what that one is. But yeah, it's got a lot of, and visually a very good looking game. The disc golf is actually really fun. This was like one of the few games I ever convinced my mom to play with me way back in the day, and I had a lot of fun with that one, and it brings back good memories because I got to play that with my mom. I can count on one hand of how many times my mom played video games with me. She's almost 60 years old, so she's pretty old to be. She didn't really, man, most women, no offense, technically aren't into video games, or they are now, but not back then. But either way, this is Motion Sports Adrenaline. This is who made it? Oh, this is Ubisoft. Okay, so Ubisoft really they have a knack for testing out the waters and actually not being afraid to test out the waters on new hardware. They really supported the Wii and the Wii U and the Switch, and they supported the Move, and they haven't supported PlayStation VR too much here though. But this it's a sports game. Basically, essentially just trying to rip off of Wii Sports for PlayStation. That's pretty much what they were doing. Let's be honest here. Now, these last 4 are good games that support the PlayStation VR, that are good on their own with the normal controller for the PlayStation 3, and I would argue definitely a better experience with the Move. So this is the last SOCOM we ever got. This is SOCOM 4, U.S. Navy SEALs. Pretty good game on its own right with the normal controller. With the Move, it's going to take some time getting used to it. Trust me on that. But it is definitely a fun game to play. I will say that. Definitely a fun game. Definitely pick this game up and play it regardless, and you'll enjoy it with the Move though. And you can use the sharpshooter. Now here's another one. I never actually played this with the Move, but man oh man did I play the crap out of Little Big Planet 2. Great game here. Great game. Little Big Planet 1, 2, 3, and karting have an immense amount of DLC. A lot of it's free. I really would recommend playing through all three of the Little Big Planet games. I really would. They're just very fun experiences. They have decent stories to them. Nothing, it's nothing crazy, but it's a decent enough story. You'll get involved and invested in the story. And the DLC, like, people will make Metal Gear themed levels. People will make Final Fantasy themed levels. People will make Mario levels. When this shit was popping back in the day online, people would make like 2D racing games. People would make 2D pirate games, 2D, you name it. People were making it, and I really wish Little Big Planet 3 was a cross-platform game between PS3 and 4. I have it on the PlayStation 4, and we never got to see a true Little Big Planet next gen, in the sense that with the power of the PlayStation 4 being way more powerful than the PlayStation 3, we really could have seen an amazing PlayStation 4 Little Big Planet, but we never got one, and I don't know why. Now the last two here are Trilogy Collections for the PlayStation. This is the Sly Cooper Collection. These last two are a little bit uncommon to find in stores, at least. The Sly Cooper Collection is a remasters of the PlayStation 2 games, obviously, and they're good. They're definitely not my favorite of the PlayStation 2 era platformers, but they're definitely good, and I would assume they play decently well with the Move controllers. I've never actually tried them, and this is also one of the games that supports the 3D. That's another thing I'd really like to get in the future, is one of those PlayStation 3 Sony TV, or PlayStation TVs rather, that supports the 3D. Those are getting kind of pricey if you didn't know that, and they're pretty uncommon at this point. They go on for about $150-$200, and to find one of those not scratched up, and then also to find it with the official glasses, I mean, it only works with the official glasses, and then to find it with like 2 sets of glasses would be a dream come true. It's a 24-inch, it does 3D. A good half of the PlayStation 3 library supports the 3D games, and I mean, in my opinion, that's totally worth getting a $200 monitor if half the games support the VR or the 3D. I really love 3D games. If you've never played games in stereoscopic 3D, I really recommend it. And while the 3DS does a good job, like actual 3D games, because I have the NVIDIA Vision 2 3D for my PC, and like I remember playing Crysis 2 in 3D. That is a good looking game in 3D, I tell you what, boy. But yeah, just so I don't really know how the 3D would look on a PlayStation 3, but it probably plays decent enough for them to release a TV dedicated to that. So who knows? But the last one here is kind of a mixed bag amongst the PlayStation community. A lot of people love Killzone, and a lot of people don't. But I think the Killzone Trilogy is a good franchise. I really like the story to it. The story, let's be honest, is basically futuristic space, not based on Earth. Nazis versus the Allies is essentially what it is. So it's a basic plot that's been told in many games and movies time and time again. But I really do love the Killzone franchise. Killzone is to PlayStation as Crysis is to the PC. Killzone is always the one pushing the graphics the hardest on the PlayStations that they've been on. It was one of the few 480p PlayStation 2 games. The infamous Killzone 2 footage that they showed that was completely unrealistic to ever have running on a PlayStation 3, but I ate that shit up back in 2005, 2006 when they were showing that footage, and I really was blown away by it, as was everybody else, that the games were going to look that good. And sure enough, so, Uncharted 3 and Last of Us 2 definitely look good on the PlayStation 3, but not like they did in that trailer. I mean, shit, games still don't even look that good to now, really. But yeah, Killzone franchise is very good series. I really love the Resistance franchise as well, which I think Resistance 3 is PlayStation Move compatible, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, it's Killzone 3 that's Move compatible. So the first one and the second one are not Move compatible, but the third one is. Now, when you install this is 2 discs. So in case you want to collect this, the first one is let's see here. The first disc is Killzone Killzone 3. So disc 1 is Killzone 3, and then disc 2 is Killzone 1 and 2. Killzone 1 installs onto your hard drive, and then you actually don't even need the disc. And then Killzone 2, so you could theoretically buy this and let your friends have Killzone on their PlayStations. And then Killzone 2, you still need the disc in the system to play it. These are very good games. The PlayStation Move, I would dare say that you could probably get this whole stack of games, if any of that sounds appealing to you, for like $60. And I mean, this is, I don't know, like 12, 15 games, something like that, for like $60, and you're having fun with a whole new experience that you've probably never tried. So I definitely recommend the PlayStation Move. Let me know if you guys like these more casual style videos. Definitely a lot easier for me to record and just kind of talk about it and be more casual about it. And yeah, peace out for now, guys. Till next time.
Come here, you mother. This is it, baby.